Hey, 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 my beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. I am so thrilled to have you here with me, family. So thrilled and so grateful to have you here. I appreciate you and your time and attention to receive this word of encouragement that is purely from my heart to yours. I know that it's not a Thursday, which is the days I usually post from my heart to yours, and I'm still going to do that. However, today's word, I believe in my heart that it is for this very day, waiting for God to reveal Himself in a way that He has never revealed Himself before in your life. I'm going to bring it home, meaning I'm going to talk about it from my perspective and my experience with it. I believe that in doing that, it will show you or give you a better understanding of what it is I truly mean. One of the reasons that this channel even exists is because I believe that I am here to encourage people, to uplift people, and to share God's word as it is revealed to me as I learn about God and as I grow in God. I truly want to share as much of that with as many people as I can, because to me it's like my mind is being opened up to a whole new world, and I am just like, more people need to know about this, right? And not just so that I can tell people, but I can also hear what other people are learning about God and from God, right? So that we can all create community around this one love that we have within our hearts, right? And that is God. And to just share our experiences of how good He has been to us. I mean, just talking about it, I feel like crying, because to me, I just feel so grateful for what God has done in my life and what He continues to do on a daily basis. Yes, there's still so many prayers that I am waiting on Him to answer, but with what He has already done, I feel like it means the world to me. I am not the person that I used to be, and I owe that all to Him. I am not where I used to be mentally, emotionally, physically. And it is all because of God and His mercy over my life. And I know that I am not the only one. I know there are so many people who have the same testimony, who can say, listen, I had lost all hope and God still brought me through. God still saved me from a life of destruction, right? And God turned my life around, and He is working in me to make me better and to up-level me into places and perspectives and viewpoints that I didn't even know were possible. But through Him and His mercy and His grace, it's as if I am born again. And that is why I wanted this channel to be a place where I can just get on here and share what I am experiencing from God and through God, and to just have a community of people who share the same passion and testimony. So I say all that to say that when we are, walking in God in this way, in this manner, we obviously have desires of our hearts, right? We obviously want to experience more of God and to experience more change and more transformation. Those are the things that tend to inspire our prayers, right? To experience change, to experience growth in certain areas of our lives, be it in our finances, be it in our relationships, be it in our mental state of being, right? It is a process that is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight that He's going to change your state of mind just like that, right? He can begin to reveal things to you, which are seeds that you can take on and begin to develop, to begin to work on, to start renewing your mind, right? I believe this is in Romans, where he talks about the constant renewal of our minds and not conforming to the world. So as he is working in us, he is shifting our minds from this worldly perspective, right, into a more godly perspective. And as he is doing that, it's going to take time. So as we are waiting for God, one thing I have experienced and have been experiencing is this feeling of exhaustion, right? Where I'm like, there are so many prayers that I've been praying for what feels like forever. And I had not been seeing the fruit of those prayers, right? And just because I have not been seeing them doesn't mean that they're not being answered. It just means that I just need to get myself to that state, to that level where I get to see it, I get to perceive the new things that He's doing in my life. However, what I've noticed and what I have learned is that it can get exhausting trying to be positive all the time and keeping the faith, right? And saying, you know what? I am good. I believe God is going to come through. I believe God is going to make a way for me. I believe God is, doing a new thing in my life. And I just need to be patient. I just need to keep the faith up. I just need to keep trusting in Him, right? And all that is good. We are supposed to do that. We are supposed to maintain our faith in God and keep trusting that He is working in us and He is changing us, right? I mean, the whole process of us keeping the faith and again getting frustrated and then keeping the faith again and getting frustrated is a process of that change that is taking place, right? We can't just expect things to go smoothly. It is part of the process. This is one thing that I've learned. It's all part of the process. And it is to just test our faith. It is the testing our faith. The Bible talks about how we will go through trials and tribulations that are going to test our faith, right? And this is part of God's process to ensure that we are not going to give up on Him, that we are not going to turn our backs on Him, that we are truly committed to Him, and that we are not just in His presence and coming to Him for what He can do for us and our family, but to also ensure that we want a relationship with Him, that we want a mutually beneficial relationship with Him, that we are here to serve Him, to obey Him, and to fulfill our life mission and assignments, right, that are going to lead to the advancement of His kingdom, because that is why we were created. I believe that 100%. And I believe that is one of the things that make us connect to God even more, because we recognize on a spiritual level that we are created for something that is bigger than us, right? That it's not just about us. By that I mean just being on the grind all the time, going to school, finishing school, getting a job. Then after you get the job, you get the family, and then you get the house or whatever it is that we are encouraged in society to do, right? All these rules that are laid out for us in society. Yes, you can have those things, but I've always felt deep down in my heart and in my soul that there is so much more to life. There is something much bigger that we as people need to also incorporate into our lives, right? To also acknowledge, to also recognize. And so reason why I'm saying that is that when God is working in us, He is working to just shift our mind state from this worldly way of viewing things to a godly way of viewing things, and knowing that as He is changing us and we find ourselves frustrated and we find ourselves feeling like, when is God gonna come through for me, right? I'm getting exhausted, and it can get disheartening after a while to just wait and wait and wait. And of course, it's not about just waiting, doing nothing. I released a video on this last week. It's not just waiting, doing nothing. It's waiting, doing something, but it's waiting in spirit that He will reveal to you what your next moves are. And often times than not, as I also have heard from other people, the times where you feel like now you've reached your highest pressure point, right? Like you are ready to just go through the roof and, throw in the towel. It's like that is the time where you are the closest to your breakthrough. So I say all that to say that remain strong, remain strong, remain strong. No matter how much you may feel like, you know what, I've been hoping and being positive for too long now, and maybe I should just give up. You know what? That is what this life process and this walk of faith is all about. It's about testing your faith, right? So keep moving. And when you feel like the pressure is getting too much, turn to God. Ask Him to give you the grace, as He says in His word, that come to me, all you who are weary, and I will give you rest. He will give you a renewal in your strength, in your perspective, that will allow you to keep going. And before you know it, you will find yourself in your promised land, so to speak. You'll find yourself in your breakthrough. And you will be so glad being an understatement. But you will be so grateful that you didn't give up. And you'll be so proud of yourself that you didn't give up. So I want to encourage you to not give up, and know that when you finally get to that place that you have been waiting to get to, when God finally brings you out into that place you've been praying to be in, that you would have up-leveled your faith, and you would have hit a whole new level of faith that is going to open new doors of opportunity for God to use you in more ways and in new ways, because He knows that you have passed a certain level, a certain grade. He can test you on more things, right? And that is how we keep ourselves available to God, available for Him to keep using us for His will to be done, right? I pray that this has been encouraging to you. I just really felt in my heart I wanted to share this. And know that as I speak these words to you, I'm also speaking these words to myself, because these are words that I've wanted to hear and I've needed to hear lately. And as I got to a shift of perspective, I was like, somebody might be going through the same thing I'm going through. Let me make this, share this, and I hope that it was going to uplift you and renew you in your strength. Yeah? Thank you so much for listening, family. Until next time, take care.